Good day, everyone. I am Shandel Alonso together with my group mates, Queenie Andres and Isel Fernandez. For today, we will discuss about Dadaism. So to start with, here are the table of contents. First, we will discuss about the content and context, which we will define the definition of Dadaism, the history and its purpose. Second is the proponents, and the last one is the notable artists and their interpretations. So what is Dadaism? Dadaism was an avant-garde art movement that emerged during the World War I, primarily in Zurich, Switzerland, and spread to the other parts of Europe and the United States. It was born out of a reaction to the horrors of the war and a rejection of traditional artistic conventions. Dadaists sought to challenge and subvert the norms of society and the art world through unconventional, often absorbed or nonsensical works. The history of Dadaism. Dadaism is from the root name Dada and is thought to have originated randomly from a French-German dictionary, reflecting the movement's embrace of irrationality and randomness. Dadaists employed a variety of mediums including visual art, poetry, literature, performance, and collage, often incorporating found objects and everyday materials into their creations. So, what is the purpose of Dadaism? The key figures of Dadaism include Marcel Duchamp, Tristan Tzara, Hugo Ball, and Hans Arp. Dadaist work were characterized by their spontaneity, anti-authoritarianism, and disdain for logic and reason. The art's purpose was not to create aesthetically pleasing art, but to rather to provoke thought, challenge established norms, and critique the societal and cultural values of the time. Dadaism laid the groundwork for many subsequent artistic movements, influencing surrealism, fluxus, and conceptual art, among others.
Hi everyone, I'm Isel Fernandez and we're gonna talk about the proponents of Dadaism. The proponents of Dadaism were a diverse group of artists, writers, and thinkers who rejected traditional aesthetic values and sought to express the absurdity of modern life. Some notable figures associated with Dadaism includes Marcel Duchamp, Tristan Tzara, Hans Arp, and Zoe Tuibo-Up. They often used unconventional materials and techniques to create artworks that challenged societal norms and questioned the role of an artist in the society. And first, we're gonna talk about Marcel Duchamp. Marcel Duchamp was a pioneer of Dada, a movement that questioned long-held assumptions about what art should be and how it should be made. In the years immediately preceding World War II, Duchamp found success as a painter in Paris. Next, Hans Arp. The works of Hans Arp were heavily influential in the foundation and advancement of Dada movement. Through his growth in the blending of industrial elements and nature, as well as his progressing abstractions, Arp drew a parallel to the Dada ideals of self-truths and embrace of the new merchandise age. Third, Tristan Tzara. He is best remembered as a co-founder and theoretician of Dadaism, an intellectual movement of the World War I era whose adherents espoused international irrationality and urged individuals to reject traditional artistic, historical, and religious values. And lastly, Sophie Tuibo-Up. She was a Swiss artist, painter, sculptor, textile designer, furniture, and interior designer, also an architect and a dancer. In addition, she was a major female force in the European avant-garde movements of Dadaism and concrete art. Her career spanned 2 world wars and ushered in a new era of design and workmanship. In pursuit of opportunities and acceptance for her craft, she pushed against the limited artistic roles of a woman and brought applied art into a mainstream as fine art.
And now we're going to talk about Dadaism or Dada's notable artists, their famous artworks, as well as their interpretations. Our first notable artist is Marcel Duchamp with his famous artwork titled Fountain in 1970. The fountain was rejected by the society because they believed it could not be considered as a work of art as it was a urinal. Another famous artist in the Dadaism is Man Ray with his artwork titled Ingress to Violin in 1924. Man Ray was primarily known for his photography skills. However, Man Ray was able to transform a classical nude of a female body into a musical instrument. He also referred to it as a le violin d'ingresse, which means a hobby in French. Another notable artist of Dadaism is Hugo Ball, with his sound poem Karawane in 1916. Hugo Ball was the founder of the Cabaret Voltaire and a writer of the Dadaist Manifesto. The sound poem Karawane was made to bring the sounds of human vocalization, may it be random or wild rambling, to the forefront by eliminating everything else. Now we have Raoul Hausmann with his Mechanical Head or the Spirit of Our Time in 1920. The Mechanical Head is a reverse of Hegel's argument that everything is mind, because Hausmann believes that man is empty-headed, with no more capabilities than that which chance has glued to the outside of his skull. And then here we also have Max Ernst, with his two children are threatened by a nightingale in 1924. It is a red open gate against a clear blue sky symbolizes a welcoming mood, while white figures represent fear. The term nightingale refers to his deceased sister, while the other refers to a horrific nightmare from his childhood. Kurt Schwitters is also one of the notable artists of the Dadaism, with his construction of Noble Ladies in 1990. He emphasizes the concept that art can be created from destruction and demonstrates how urban debris can be converted into something beautiful through creativity. We also have Francis Picabia with his very rare Picture of Earth in 1922. As a dedicated artist of Dadaism, he had investigated a wide range of conflicting genres that involved several artistic forms. The very rare Picture of Earth was the evocation of a sexual event in mechanical terms. We also have Otto Dick's Scott Players in 1920. His Scott Players, or the card-playing wire people's work, exemplifies much of the new objectivity movement. Dix used Cubism and Dadaism art to make a powerful social statement about horribly deformed soldiers who can still play cards. We also have Marcel Janco's mass portrait of Tizara in 1990. Marcel's mass portrait of Tizara exemplifies the Dada movement and personifies the approximate man. It is a notion that incorporates many of the movement's characteristics. Janco's design of strange faces that converted the performers into criminal healers who disobeyed various rules was one of his finest efforts. We also have George Gross, A Funeral, tribute to Oscar Panizza in 1980. The artwork depicts the post-war period during which George held anger and resentment toward German society. And lastly, we have Tristan Tzara with his Contents Dada 3 in 1970. Tristan Tzara is often credited with founding Dada, a negative anti-art movement that was established during the World War I. The Contents Dada 3 is a pieces of previously printed material that were put together in such a way that they appeared to join together to produce an artwork using the cut-up technique pioneered by Dada 3.
The Dadaist ideals. Dadaism, a breakaway movement, sparked debate in modern society, with some viewing it as a step forward to avant-garde art. Despite its collapse due to Hitler's rise, its goal persisted among modern artists, with Neo-Dadaism adopting Dadaist elements during pop art. The full impact of the Dadaist movement was then realized in the second half of the 20th century.